I would say it's the gift and the curse of feedback, because one thing I've learned over the last couple of years is that not all feedback is equal, right? You need to really focus on the kind of feedback that actually helps you improve your practice, or that actually helps you improve your teaching, or actually helps you improve your business. And I remember Seth Godin talking about this, Andrew. He said that he never reads Amazon book reviews because they don't give him the feedback that will actually help him improve his writing or his books.
You mean of his
And I
own
said,
book,
"Oh man,
right?
this is yeah." He's like, "No, if I'm going to ask for feedback to help with my books, I'm going to ask other writers who actually write on a similar niche as mine." So instead of seeking out the people that can give you any kind of feedback, you should be seeking out the people that can give you specific, actionable feedback that can actually help you improve your teaching practice and your teaching business, which is exactly what we try to do with those teachers who are on this path to improve their teaching, to teach without spending a lot of time preparing lessons, and teachers who also have started building their business just like we have built ours, and they're going to get the same kind of feedback. And an example of the wrong kind of feedback is, this is actually a personal example. I used to play in a punk band when growing up, and one day we decided to be an opening act for a band that was playing death metal. So what happens in a situation like that? Well, you're going to show up in front of the wrong people who are going to give you the wrong kind of feedback. This band sucks. You guys are terrible. Of course they're going to say that. We don't play death metal. We're playing punk rock. So the lesson is for you, for us, has been find the people who you are seeking to create a change for, and get feedback from those people, because that's the kind of feedback that is going to help you improve your teaching practice and your business.
The two of you talk a lot about critical friends or a critical friend network, right? So this is in essence, what you're describing. I think going solo is the term, or thinking about professional life outside of an institution or a school is a very natural thought, of course, to augment income, to replace income, to feel more creative, to do at the same time as a side hustle, to do as a full-time business. It's a very natural thought, and it's a very natural thought to move from the same model that a school offers into your own business, right? So selling my time in my own business is a very natural transition from leaving a school, starting a business. It's a very natural transition, right? But that's also an obvious solution to an obvious problem, right? And that's why it's not
one for
effective.
one, right? Yeah.
The one for one. This is what
1 hour
Nicholas...
of teaching at this school versus 1 hour teaching at home. Yeah.
Exactly. And this is what Nicholas Cole talks about a lot on Twitter. If you don't follow Nicholas Cole, go follow him. He's amazing. If you want to learn about content writing and how to market your products, Nicholas Cole is the guy, or one of the guys. But we don't get people's attention by talking about an obvious solution to an obvious problem. We need to talk about non-obvious solutions to ideally non-obvious problems, or at least one obvious and one non-obvious, right? So naturally, it seems obvious to move from a school to take the same model and sell my time on my own time and make some money, and that can work for a while. But everyone's doing the same thing, and eventually the burnout follows you. There's a reason you burn out working in an institution or a school. It's because it's the time that we spend doing it, right? So what would be a non-obvious solution to that obvious problem? The obvious problem of working a lot of hours, being tired, maybe experiencing a little bit of burnout or demotivation. The obvious solution is go solo, sell my time. But what would a non-obvious solution be?
That's a good question.
So I
don't know if this is
related.
related.
Have to answer the question.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this. I don't know if this is 100% related to your question, so I may be deviating a little bit from the question here.
Go ahead.
But I'm thinking about the problem of teachers wanting to quit their teaching jobs at institutions where they're making, we've talked to teachers who are working for these platforms like italki and Cambly, and they're not making a lot of money, or they're working for institutions and they want to start like charging what they think they're worth. But a lot of them want to do that. That's the obvious problem.
Right.
And the obvious solution is I'm just gonna, quit and start my business. But this is not what most people do. And I start thinking about why. And I think it's because of the Western mindset. What is the Western mindset? The Western mindset, in my opinion, is tell me if it's going to work, and then I'll do it.
Interesting.
So you're saying it's the path of least resistance, right? Like
exactly.
I can easily go from, say, teaching in a school, getting, say, $20 an hour, to charging what I want to charge, and then teaching at home type thing. Is that where you're going with that?
Yeah. Well, because think about, yes, because this mentality, Mike, of like, tell me if it's going to work and then I'll do it. This mentality of only doing what's needed if it gets me an A on the test, or if it gets me the successful teaching business, that's what really holds back a lot of teachers. Because the real breakthrough is doing work that is worth doing.
For a specific group of people that want it.
Exactly. Even though it's not going to work. And that's the thing, is I don't remember where I read about this, but I think it was someone on Twitter, Andrew. I can't remember the guy's name, but he talked about the idea of a creativity faucet. It's only once you have freed your mind of all these bad ideas that the good ideas will start to emerge. And I can't help but think about the non-obvious solution to a non-obvious problem is you have to practice shipping often, which is what we do. We ship a podcast every month, whether it's good or bad, we ship one. We post on Instagram. We're constantly creating new courses. It's only through shipping that you will learn and master your own craft. I think the only reason why we have become good at what we do is because we're constantly shipping. We're learning and mastering our craft. Too many people focus mostly on the outcome. They want to have the teaching business, but they fail to ship often enough.
This is something I've been thinking about a lot recently, and I've been.
Watch your pronunciation there, Leo. Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm crafting a LinkedIn post on this, but I haven't finished yet. So it's not totally fleshed out. But the crux of it is this: the most important is maybe too hyperbolistic, or whatever the word would be. But I think one of the most important skills / mindsets for an entrepreneur or someone who has their own business, or in this case, a teacher who has their own business, is to embrace delayed gratification.
Yes, I like that.
There's no such thing as results right away. The results come after time. But if you're looking to, like what you said, Leo, show me what works, and then I'll do it. Well, how do you define works? And what works for one person doesn't work for another person. There are general things, obviously, but you have to have the mindset of, I'm going to get rewarded for this later. I lay the foundations now. Go, like whether you're saying, Leo, on the stories the other day about embracing pain. Take don't take the path of least resistance. Take the path of maybe not most resistance, but at least there is some resistance there.
There's got to be some sort of resistance, some pain,
philosophical, whatever. Like we are living, breathing results of that. We had made no money forever. We laid the foundations for this. So I think delayed gratification in any business has to be embraced, because you're not going to make money right away. You have to find out what people want. You have to find out who they are, find out if that's something that is commensurate with what you offer, with what you're interested in. This is a time-consuming process. You have to once you figure that out, you have to help them a little bit for probably a low price to prove to other people that you can do this. Then you can start to raise and like there's a whole thing here. And after a little bit of time, certainly those rewards come. But if you're looking for a quick fix, it doesn't exist.